All right, we're back at another episode, Passion for Real Estate Investments. Fuquan Bilal here, your host, and I'm here with Bill Mccafferty. So real quick, I met Bill years ago, both of us being in the note business, and Bill is a great asset manager. I've learned a lot from Bill. Little did he know I used to secretly pick his brain and then implement some of those strategies right away. So I wanted to bring Bill on the show because I know he's an investor that's passionate about real estate to kind of share his journey and everything. So I'll let you get started and share with the group on why you're passionate for real estate and what keep that fire burning.
Why am I passionate in real estate? I love getting it in every day. I love everything that we come across, from the hurdles to the success. It's definitely a business that has changed my life. Back in 2006, I needed a lot more out of life. Started going to local real estate groups. Very blessed to meet the guys from Partners for Payment Relief back in 2007, 2008. Saw what they were doing with delinquent mortgages. Just wanted to learn everything. I guess it was probably 2008 that I heard their mentor speak one night. And it was definitely a life experience changing moment in my life. Because when I dove into real estate, I wanted something that I could do with the phone and the computer. And I started getting involved with rehabs and rentals, and it wasn't what I wanted and what I needed. So when I discovered that I could, manage a non-performing note in Utah from Pennsylvania, it's what I liked. It all clicked. So for me, it's like a lot of us. It's about the why, and why am I doing this? I have a wife, I have 2 kids. They need me. I need this business. And I just love the opportunity. Everything about it is awesome. I control my own finances. I control my own life. If things aren't working out, I need to get myself in gear. It's like you said when you gave me some props. I look up to you. I think you're doing awesome stuff. And the people that I've met in this business, it's just awesome.
Yeah.
We hold each other accountable, and we help better each other. I got plenty of friends that aren't in the real estate industry, and I don't know if, it's not a knock on them. I just don't know if they better me. I worked at a school for 15 years, and, you work 50 hours a week, and probably 25 hours of the week, you would listen to everybody's problems.
Wow.
And, it's not that you don't hear about other people's problems in real estate, but, a lot of that negativity people keep out of it. So I don't know if that answered the question.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm listening and learning. I know you're a big family guy, and I know it's important for you to keep that freedom, and to be able to spend that time with your family. And I just learned something today that I didn't know. I know it took you 4 years once you learned this investment strategies to retire. But I didn't know 4 years from after that, your wife retired early also, from what you guys started to do in the note business. So now you and your wife are retired, and you're able to still have that freedom, with your kids and your family. And I know that now you have, as one of the speakers was saying, that fear of, making it happen.
Yeah, you don't want to lose it. It speaks volume that, I have a 15 and my daughter will be 13 next week. My wife was a school teacher for 17 years. And even as the real estate thing started really taking off for me, she was still working. And she'd come home after dealing with parents and kids and, I don't want to say stressed out, but, didn't want to make dinner, didn't want to put the time into the kids, was tired. And I'm like, I got to get that 40 to 50 hours in my house.
Yeah.
So her just buried in my kids' education, their lives right now, it's humongous.
They got a big difference.
Oh, it's huge. And I don't want to lose that. We'll figure it out. The kids eventually are going to kind of move on. And she's a smart girl. She has her master's in education. But right now she enjoys just kind of holding everything down while I can concentrate on the business. There's a lot of people that if they went away to a conference, maybe their wife or their significant other would frown upon it. I get the support, go, I got everything under control. And that's huge. We're definitely a team.
That's awesome. Now, the type of business you do, your role in this paper space that you actually do very well at is an asset management role. So let's talk a little bit about what that involves and how you add value to people who want to be hands-off in this business and find someone who can actually make their investment profitable. So let's talk a little bit about that asset management piece that you specialize in.
Nah, it's definitely, real estate's all about adding value. And as I moved along here, I don't really know if in the beginning I realized it, but as I progressed, and I appreciate you using the term asset manager, the old school term, and I kind of frown upon it when I'm introduced as, this guy's the workout guy.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's just so much more that goes on than just, working something out with a homeowner. I've been blessed to work a little over 600 files by a little over probably about 100 different investors. Investors at all different levels. They would hire me to manage their non-performing seconds. Everywhere from, handling the collateral file to getting it situated with the servicer, to moving it forward with the legal process and, just handling the whole component. Borrower management, legal management, servicing management. And our whole goal in this thing is to get the homeowner paying us again or to get some type of payoff. But as you know, a little bit of everything happens. So I've just gotten good at learning it as I go along. A lot of people have put me in an awesome position to learn this business. As running a big fund, you borrow a lot of capital. There's a lot of pressure. You got a lot of stuff that you need to handle. I've been very blessed to work over 600 assets with none of my own money.
Yeah.
But I'm not working that many assets by not adding value.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And, kind of what a lot of these speakers are talking about today here at the conference, communication and just being real with people. Early on, I would take some of this stuff personal. But as I moved along, I understand, I can't take it personal. Some things I just can't control. I need to communicate well with people and just keep people informed. As things happen and I start panicking a little bit, I always do good by taking a step back and just discussing things with my client, letting them make a decision, letting them know what's going on, just kind of lay it all out. So that's what I do. I'm an asset manager. It's definitely my bread and butter. What's been awesome about it is it allows me to take all that experience back into my own portfolio.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I always tell people when they get involved in the paper space, they need a power team, which consists of the attorney, the realtor, the servicer, and the asset manager. And so the asset manager is like the one-stop shop. They'll manage those other vendors for you and kind of make it more passive and more hands-off. So for those people who are looking to get involved in the note space, you definitely need to have that power team to be successful. Even if you are involved, you still can leverage the knowledge and experience from other people who's been in the space, like Bill or other people that you may find in your power team. Are you doing any real estate at all? You just focusing strictly on notes? There's no opportunities local in your area?
I own one rental. I tell myself every day I probably need to own more rentals. I definitely have gotten very comfortable in the paper business. I owned 14 houses. I owned 14 houses at one time in the height of the market, and a lot of things didn't go well for me. So, I'm going to say it was probably like 2010. I decided to stop paying on everything. I couldn't access capital. Lenders were tightening up. And it was let me protect my family or go broke to lenders. So, a little bit of my experience kind of came when I said, I'm not paying anybody. I had people short sale properties for me, had a few get foreclosed on. And when the whole dust settled, I ended up with one rental. I kept that rental. It's about 1.5 miles from my house.
Yeah, so you just focus on that.
Yeah, I definitely, have my primary one rental. At some time I'd like to, get back into some brick and mortar.
So what do you see as far as not just seconds, because you are privy to other types of investments in this space also first. What do you see the business, and I know you don't have a crystal ball and you can't see where it's going to shift and turn, but when you're doing the workout, you're seeing regulation come down the pipe, you're hearing things on the market. What do you see from where you started to now and where the business is shifting that investors are having challenges with?
Yeah, it's a different marketplace. Regulations have been a big play in this business for the last 3 years. Accessing product, price point entry. when we all started doing this back in, 2009, 2010, 2011, just purchase price alone would value out a lot of deals. Now you really kind of need to know exactly what you're doing. And, everybody's different. I've always been a firm believer in, equity doesn't always pay us in the second mortgage business. And nowadays you're paying for equity notes. And, a guy like me who, his main strategy is to work stuff out with borrowers, I start getting a little nervous, even if you're buying an asset at, 50, 60 cents on the dollar and it's completely covered in equity, the full loan balance and payoff, I still get a little uncomfortable because I'm not about liquidating properties. I know a lot of different strategies are in this business. I know there's investors that just, they just go straight to the foreclosure sale. If a homeowner can fully reinstate, that's great. If not, we're going to take the house back. I don't know if I would have stayed in business if I did that. So it's definitely a different marketplace. It's definitely about your network right now. I managed probably about 100 to 150 seconds from 2012 up until about last year. And I'm probably at like 70 right now. I'm having a tough time bringing in clients and product as we move through the marketplace. Now, part of me is okay with that. I have my own portfolio. I got my IRAs. And when you're working a portfolio, it gets intense.
Yeah.
You're dealing with attorneys, homeowners. As much as my business model doesn't allow me to have to come to the table with capital, I am managing investors' product with their capital. So it gets intense. So a little bit of me was okay that it's settling down right now, me kind of getting grounded to kind of see where I'm going. I'm doing some consultant work right now. But yeah, it's definitely a different marketplace, and it's interesting because, majority of the product came out of the crash.
Yeah.
And I guess that's always the question is how much is still out there. But I would say over the last, 6 months, it seems like stuff's flowing out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of trades. I mean, I was actually just talking with a broker yesterday, as a matter of fact, and they were saying, hey, we have a 300 million UPB coming down the pipe. I'm like, whoa, that's like a little...
It's crazy,
too far over my head. I'm like, who's buying that stuff? It's like, Wall Street guys, they're buying this stuff and they're breaking it up. And I'm like, okay, call me when it get down to like 30 million UPB or something like that, 10 times lower, something we can actually, with the amount of capital we raise, that we can actually grab. But there's tons of paper still out there. And I guess the Wall Street guys are, now they were in the space, but now they're all over the space buying any and everything because they're raising capital cheaper. But there's still plenty of trades out there for the smaller companies like you and I to go out and grab those opportunities. So, I'm definitely seeing that. In your consultant business, let's talk about that a little bit. I know you add a lot of value to a lot of people in this space, and people will just randomly reach out and, you big-hearted and want to help them. So I see now you shifted to trying to structure where you can value your time more, and the people who are serious about learning, they will go with that program. So let's talk about a little bit about that. That consultant piece that you have set up.
For the last 3 years, I've been going to bat on putting out some type of education program, and I just could never commit to it. I don't know if it was me just finishing it. The heart wasn't in it. There's other people doing it. I knew the time commitment and, dealing with the public with the education is time consuming. Knowing that I needed to add another component to my business here in 2018, I said, you know what, maybe consulting work's the way to go. To put it in, some quick terms for you, over the last 7 years, I would have, let's say, 5 investors reach out to me to discuss my asset management service. And my style is I don't sell them my service. I educate them on the business.
Yeah.
And then the last 5 minutes of our hour phone call is, if you want to do business, sign the agreement, send it back to me. Well, out of those 5 investors, 3 of those investors would bring product back through my asset management service. Well, over the last year, nobody was bringing anything back through me, but I was still putting out all that time and educating the public, which I take a lot of pride in because I think that's what a lot of people appreciate about me, that I'm real. I give them the good and the bad. I don't have anything to really sell, and they're getting it all, but nothing's coming back through me. So I will still do a little bit of that education
Yeah.
and get people situated, but and I just kept it simple. I offer 3 hours of consulting work for $500. It could be anywhere from a new investor to an experienced investor to somebody that needs help building their business. It really catered to whatever that person needs help with.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. I think it's important also. I saw that as an opportunity when you put that out there. It was like, hey guys, this is what I'm doing. If you need help doing this and that. And I've actually reached out for some due diligence and some other things to get some of your experience with bankruptcy and everything else. So I definitely appreciate you adding that value to the community. And I'm definitely one that respects someone's time. So I said, okay, I see he has this. Let me be the first to go ahead and, and jump on board with that and leverage that experience as well. So definitely appreciate it. I
do like, I have a very good relationship with Fuquan. So it was back in the summer when I was putting this out. He's like, do I got to pay for this phone call? Come on, buddy. You got to pay for it.
Now, I just want to be respectful of people's time, because I have people reach out to me all the time. And that was one of the reasons we created this platform, so we can get different people to interact with the new people and other people who may have questions through social media. So it's not, when you want to get on social media and answer questions like the other platforms. So with this one, though, is a little bit different because our goal here is not only to bring the people who's experienced in the market to the platform to share and do the podcast, but to have the SEC attorneys, real estate accountants, regular business attorneys, foreclosure attorneys to come on organically and legally answer questions that people are out here posting on social media. It gives them an opportunity to promote their business and also to answer questions that people have, whether it's legal, accounting, and everything else. Because I see a lot of investors jumping at those questions, answering them like, wow, that's a question for an attorney. I see some people saying, ask your foreclosure attorney. But that was one of the reasons that we wanted to create this platform, was so they can come on and add value, and then also bring speakers like yourself on and share their experience and their journey and why they're passionate for real estate. So I definitely thank you for taking the time out with us today to do this podcast and add some value.
Awesome.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.